Okay, I think it is time to sum up all the knowledge gained so far and deliver it to you in a form of this mini guide. This is going to be for people that are already accustomed to controls and are able to use basic moves, but lack the experience of online world. Okay, I want to start with attacking. First of all, every character in this game has different startup for his attacks, and even though they all look kinda fast, they're not. So if your character loses in an exchange a lot of times, that probably means that your character has low priority on his attacks, meaning that his startup is incredibly late compared to others, and maybe you should be more careful to when you want to attack. You also have to keep in mind that this game has a lot of turn bases in it, meaning that if you attacked somebody and he blocked that attack, most likely your attack is not plus, meaning that you can't continue attacking after it and you have to let opponent take his turn and block his assault first before you're able to do anything else. There is a way to steal turns, but we'll talk about that a bit later. Right now, just remember that if you're attacking somebody and he blocks it, that means that you are the one who will be blocking next. And a lot of people have adapted to this, and what they do is straight after they blocked your assault, they go with an unblockable because they know that you're going to block and they get a full combo from this. The way to escape it is to keep attacking, because normal attacks have priority over unblockables. So there is this little rock paper scissors game where blocking beats normal attacks, unblockable beats block, but normal attacks beat unblockables, and the mind game comes from this. This is ground zero to this game, and there are a lot of layers that go above it, and there are also some characters like Bakugo or Gran Torino that escape this mix, because when they touch you on block, their game is all about pressure, and they will just keep attacking unless you will find a gap to either escape or interrupt them, or you attack them first. A good way to go around this is to try and throw an armored reversal in the middle of it. And let's talk about reversals. Those are yellow armored moves, and they're mostly used to steal turns from the character, meaning that they're attacking, you throw a reversal, you have armor, and you try to force your way through their attack. However, it's not very smart to throw this out raw, because if blocked, you're unsafe, meaning that opponent is guaranteed to punch you in the face, and this can be sometimes avoided if your character has a follow-up to the armor move, but usually this follow-up is not safe at all, or it's safe, but your opponent gets a turn, meaning that you will have to guess between unblockable and a normal attack. Also, some people decide to throw their reversal on your reversal to, armor through you, and you can cancel your reversal into super level 1 or level 2 to beat that as well. Some characters don't even need reversals because they already have Beethoven of fighting game moves. Maybe you heard about it, called DP, or Dragon Punch, or Shoryuken. Basically an invincible up-forward move that is usually unsafe. But there's technically a way to make everything safe in this game by summoning a support to cover you. Smart thing about supports is the recovery, because if you summon your support when you are getting attacked, your support recovery goes way back down to 0. If you summon your supports when you are attacking, or in neutral in general, support recovery goes half this way, so you can summon it back earlier than usual. Also, if you hold the support button, you can keep the support in place and move around, and then when you release it, the support will attack. I don't see a lot of people using it, but it's an interesting gimmick. And while we're on the topic of recovery, I want you to keep in mind that when you knock your opponent down, once he wakes up or recovers in general from the ground, he is invincible for at least a second or so, so the next move that he does is prioritized over your move. So if you're Shigaraki and you try to put a puddle on someone when they're knocked down, they can just jump out of it, and that's it. The same goes with any other attack. The safest way to wake up in this game is to just jump in any direction, but if they know this, they can jump with you and attack you in the air, so be smart about it. In fact, there is almost no reason for you to wake up and block, because if you wake up and attack, your attack will most likely be prioritized over your opponent's, even if your priority in general is very low. All of this, however, is not true for air recovery, so if you recover in air, not only you cannot recover in any other direction, but you are also having a shorter invincibility there, meaning that people can just meet you over and over, making those little resets and chipping away a lot of health, because developers haven't thought of recovery down or right or fixing. Just deal with it. That's the point. Deal with it. Air is not a safe place. I see a lot of people jumping around and dashing and jumping, like kind of baiting you, but even if you attack somebody from the air position and they block it, this is always unsafe. Not even a turn, just unsafe. You're gonna get smacked in the face when they block it. So your only way to get saved from the air attacking, if somebody blocks it, is to somehow gimmick your way out of it by maybe, I don't know, stopping the string in the middle and hoping that gravity will save you, or something along those lines, or summoning a support. Anyway, if you're just attacking raw, you're in disadvantage if you're doing it from the air. And also adding just to a bit of movement section, when you're dashing, you have to fully stop in order to block. But if you want to jump, the jump is instantaneous, so you can save yourself by actually going into the air if you know that your opponent is about to interrupt you or dashing with his attack. Also, it's way faster to attack rather than to stop and guard while you're dashing, so you maybe want to consider trying to interrupt your opponent before he does the same for you. That really depends on the character, and let's talk about characters. When choosing a character, people usually ask me, hey, this is this manual and normal thingy right below my character selection. What does this mean? Normal basically means the system is going to help you create an optimal combo, basically just the setup version of the combo that developers made, and manual allows you to correct the combo however you want. But the problem is that normal usually breaks things for you. For instance, in normal version, Kaminari does not have the kick that allows him for the extension, meaning that he loses most of his useful combos, so I don't recommend going for normal at all, because not only you're gonna make a lot less damage than with manual, but you're also creating a mashing tendency within your brain, and that will never lead to anything good. I often get the question of whether I can recommend a character as a beginner-friendly one, but looking at the roster and all of those characters, they all have some kind of a gimmick that they rely on. For instance, Kirishima has a working reversal, and you will play him completely different from if you choose to play as Deku or Aizawa, and the faster you get used to the gimmick that the character has, the easier it will be for you to play as this character. So I can't say, oh, you know what, start with Deku and then switch to Aizawa, because it's still going to be hard for you to play as Aizawa, so you have to start with him. Start with a character that you want, that you like. That doesn't mean that your character is going to be the strongest though, because some characters are clearly more broken than others in this game, but there also can be the ones that are tougher to master due to their combo execution. For instance, Tokoyami is one of the more broken characters in this game, however he has one of the hardest combos in the game also. But I can recommend supports, since there are clearly some of the best supports in the game and you don't need any mastery for the usage of the supports. So here are 6 supports that I think are the greatest in this game. Earphone Jack, Tokoyami, Ida, Shigaraki, Muscular, Bakugo, and maybe Tsu. I mean, it depends on your character. Kinda depends on your character, because if you're using Stain, Tsu will be useless for you, but if you're using Kaminari, that's a must go. By must go, I mean if you want him to be really flipping broken. Lastly, I see a lot of people having troubles with Kirishima's armor. Just keep in mind that whenever he armors up, he is unsafe, and you can use an unblockable to remove his armor, or you can use a level 1 super to do so as well. Then there is a problem of projectiles in the game. The core strategy here is to dodge all the projectiles, advance closer and punish them while they're recovering. However, with patches going in and in and in, recovery kinda reduces for them. It's as if developers want them to spam, but it's getting harder. However, this is still a strategy. Basically, dodge the projectile, getting close, unblockable, or just attack, and hopefully everything will turn out good for you. If you see Todoroki's ice wall, then there is a blind spot there, but easier way is if your character has a projectile, jump and try to shoot a projectile over it. If you don't have a projectile, then just be very patient. The goal is to wait till they stop sliding all over the place and just finally shoot a projectile at you so that you could dodge it and go in close. Unless they shoot the second projectile.